Okay, May 31st. 2 Samuel 17, 1 through 29. Moreover, Asphel said to Absalom, Now let me choose 12,000 men, and I will arise and pursue David tonight. And I will come upon him who is weary, him while he is weary and weak, and make him afraid. And the people who are with him will flee, and I will strike only the king. Then I will bring back all the people to you when all return except the man whom you seek, and the people will be at peace. And the same pleased Absalom and all the elders of Israel. Then Absalom said, now call Hushi, the Archite, and also let us hear what he says too. And when Hushi came to Absalom, Absalom spoke to him, saying, Absalom has spoken in this manner. What shall we do what he says? If not, speak up. So Hushi said to Absalom, The advice of Absalom has given is not good at this time. For if Hushi said Hushi, you know your father and his men, that they are mighty men, and they are enraged in their minds, like a bear robbed of her cubs in the field. And your father is a man of war. He will not camp with the people. Surely by now he has hidden in some pit or in some other place. And it will be that when some of them are overthrown at first, that whoever hears will say, There is a slaughter among the people who follow Absalom. And even he who is valiant, whose heart is like a heart of a lion, will melt completely. For all Israel knows that your father is a mighty man, and those with him are violent men. Valiant men. Therefore, I advise that all Israel be gathered to you from Dan to Beersheba, like the sand that is in the sea for the multitude. That you go to battle in person. So we will come upon him in a place where he may be found, and we will fall on him as the dew falls on the ground. And of him and all the men who are with him, there shall not be one left so much as one. Moreover, if he has withdrawn into the city, then all Israel shall bring ropes to that city, and we will pull it into the river until there is not one small stone found there. So Absalom and all the men of Israel said, The advice of Hushi the Archite is better than the advice of Ahithophel, for the Lord has purposed to defeat the good of Ahithophel to the intent that the Lord might bring disaster upon Absalom. Then Hushi said to Zadok and Abiathar the priest, thus and so. So Absalom advised Ahithophel advised Absalom and the elders of Israel, and and so I have advised. Now, therefore, send quickly and tell David, say, Do not spend this night in the plains of the wilderness, but speedily cross over, lest the king and all the people who are with him be swallowed up. Now, Jonathan and Asbel stayed on En Rogel, for they dared not be seen coming into the city. So a female servant would come and tell them, and they would go and tell King David. Nevertheless, the lad saw them and told Absalom. But both of them went away quickly and came to the man's house in Burham and had a well in his court. And they went down into it. And the woman took and spread a covering over the well's mouth and spread ground grain on it, and the thing was not known. And when Absalom's servants came to the woman at the house, they said, Where is Ismael and Jonathan? So the woman said to them, They have gone over the water brook. And when they had searched and could not find them, they returned to Jerusalem. Now it came to pass after they had departed that they came up out of the well and went to King David and said to David, Arise and cross over the water quickly, for thus has Asaph advised against you. So David and all the people who were with him arose and crossed over the Jordan. By morning light, not one of them was left who had not gone over the Jordan. Now when Asaph saw that his advice was not followed, his he saddled a donkey and arose and went home to his house in the city. There he put his house in order and hanged himself and died, and he was buried in his father's tomb. Then David went to Medemoth, and Absalom crossed over the Jordan, he and all the men of Israel with him. And Absalom made Asma captain of the army instead of Joab. This Asma was the son of the man whose name was Jerath, an Israelite, who had gone into Abigail, the daughter of Nashon, sister of Zerah, Joab's mother. So Israel and Absalom encamped in the land of Gilead. Now it happened when David had come to Menemeth that Shobi the son of Nathan and Ramah of the people of Ammon, Maacah the son of Ammiel, and Lodebar and Barzillai, and the Gilead from Roglim brought beds and basins, earthen vessels and wheat, barley and flour, parched grains and beans, lentils and parched seeds, honey and curd, sheep and cheese of the herd, for David and his people who are with him to eat. For they said, the people are hungry and weary and thirsty in this wilderness. John 19:23-42. Then the soldiers, when they had crucified Jesus, took his garments and made 4 parts, one to each soldier apart. They also took the tunic, and the tunic was without seam, woven from the top in one piece. They said, therefore, among themselves, let us not tear it, but cast lots for it, whose it shall be, that the scripture might be fulfilled, which says, they divided my garments among them, my clothing, and for my clothing they cast lots. Therefore the soldiers did these things. Now there stood by the cross of Jesus his mother and his mother's sister Mary, the wife of Clopas, and Mary Magdalene. When Jesus therefore saw his mother and the disciple whom he loved standing by, he said to his mother, Woman, behold your son. And then he said to his disciple, Behold your mother. And from that hour, that disciple took her as his own into his own home. After this, Jesus, knowing that all things had been accomplished, that the scripture might be fulfilled, said, I thirst. Now the vessel full of sour wine was sitting there, and they filled the sponge with sour wine, put it on hyssop, and put it to his mouth. So when Jesus received the sour wine, he said, It is finished. And bowing his head, he gave up his spirit. Therefore, because it was a preparation day, that the body should not remain on the cross on the Sabbath, for the Sabbath was a high day, the Jews asked Pilate that the legs might be broken and that they might be taken away. So the soldiers came and broke the legs of of the first and of the other who was crucified with him. But when they came to Jesus, they saw that he was already dead. They did not break his legs, but one of the excuse me. But one of the soldiers pierced his side with a spear, and immediately blood and water came out. And he who has seen has testified, and his testimony is true, and he knows that he is telling the truth, so that you may believe. For these things were done, that the scripture might be fulfilled. Not one of his bones shall be broken. And again, another scripture says, they shall look at on him whom they pierced. After this, Joseph of Arimathea, being a disciple of Jesus, but secretly for the fear of the Jews, asked Pilate that he might take away the body of Jesus. And Pilate gave him permission. So he came and took the body of Jesus. And Nicodemus, who first came to Jesus by night, also came, bringing a mixture of myrrh and aloe, about 100 pounds. Then they took the body of Jesus, bound it in strips of linen with spices, as was custom of the Jews to bury. Now the place where he was crucified, there was a garden, and in the garden a new tomb, which no one had yet laid. So they laid Jesus because of the Jews' preparation day, for the tomb was nearby. Psalms 119, 129 through 152. P. Your testimonies are wonderful, therefore my soul keeps them. The entrance of your words gives light. It gives understanding to the simple. I opened my mouth and panted, for I longed for your commandments. Look upon me and be merciful to me, as your custom is towards those who love your name. Direct my steps by your word, and let no iniquity have dominion over me. Redeem me from the oppression of man, that I may keep your precepts. Make your face shine upon your servant, and teach me your statutes. Rivers of water run down from my eyes, because men do not keep your law. To saddle. Righteous are you, O Lord, and upright are your judgments. Your testimonies which you have commanded. You are righteous and very faithful. My zeal has consumed me, because my enemies have forgotten your word. Your word is pure. Therefore, your servant loves it. I am small and despised, yet I do not forget your precepts. Your righteousness is an everlasting righteousness, and your law is truth. Trouble and anguish have overtaken me, yet your commandments are my delights. The righteous of your testimonies is everlasting. Give me understanding, and I shall live. Kawah. I cry out with my whole heart. Hear me, O Lord. I will keep your statute. I cry out to you. Save me, and I will keep your testimonies. I rise before the dawning of morning and cry for help. I hope in your word. My eyes are awake through the night watches, that I may meditate on your word. Hear my voice according to your loving kindness. O Lord, revive me according to your judgment. They draw near who follow after wickedness. They are far from your law. You are near, O Lord, and your commandments are truth. Concerning your testimonies, I have known of old that you have founded them forever. Proverbs 16:12 through 13. It is abomination for kings to commit wickedness, for the throne is established by righteousness. Righteous lips are a delight of kings, but they love him who speaks what is right. Right. I apologize for my allergies, but I will see y'all tomorrow.